12 Secrets from the Ascended Masters that will change your life. Introduction. It's October 1875. Helena Blavatsky sits alone in her New York apartment when suddenly a letter materializes from thin air and falls onto her desk. The paper bears an unusual watermark, and the handwriting is in a script she's never seen before. At the bottom, a signature. M. Master Moria, an ascended being who had transcended physical death centuries ago. This wasn't fantasy. This wasn't a hallucination. This was documented communication between our physical world and beings who had completed human evolution, the Ascended Masters. Hundreds of witnesses saw these materialized letters. Scholars studied them. Scientists investigated them. And what they contained would revolutionize our understanding of human potential forever. But here's what will change your life today. These same Ascended Masters didn't stop communicating when Blavatsky died. They're trying to reach you right now. The wisdom they shared through her, 12 profound secrets about consciousness, reality, and spiritual development, can transform your existence in ways you never thought possible. What if I told you that everything limiting your life right now, your relationships, your abundance, your sense of purpose, your spiritual connection, could be revolutionized by applying knowledge that beings who have transcended human limitations spent centuries trying to share with us? The Ascended Masters are not mythical figures or religious concepts. They are actual beings, former humans who have completed the evolutionary journey from physical consciousness to divine awareness. Masters like Moria, Kuthumi, Jesus, Buddha, and Saint Germain have successfully navigated every challenge you're facing. They've transcended every limitation you're experiencing. And they've achieved every spiritual goal you're seeking. Helena Blavatsky was chosen as their primary messenger for the modern age because humanity was entering a critical phase of evolution. We needed advanced knowledge to navigate the challenges ahead. Through her, these masters shared 12 fundamental secrets, practical wisdom that can accelerate your spiritual development by lifetimes. These aren't abstract philosophical concepts. These are concrete principles that work in the real world. Blavatsky proved it by demonstrating phenomena that amazed her contemporaries. Thousands of students proved it by transforming their lives using Master's teachings. And now, you're going to prove it by applying these same secrets to your own spiritual journey. Each secret builds upon the others, creating a complete system for conscious evolution. By the time we're finished, you'll have practical tools that can reshape your reality, accelerate your spiritual growth, and connect you directly with the same masters who guided Blavatsky. The evidence for master communication through Blavatsky is overwhelming. Over 2,400 materialized letters were documented and preserved. These letters contained knowledge about Tibet that wouldn't be verified by Western explorers until decades later. They described scientific principles that weren't discovered until the 20th century. They predicted world events with startling accuracy, but the real proof isn't historical, it's practical. When people apply these teachings, their lives transform. Students report breakthrough spiritual experiences, resolved relationship patterns, manifested abundance, discovered life purposes, and developed psychic abilities. The principles work because they're based on actual laws of consciousness, not human theories about spirituality. Modern quantum physics is validating concepts that the masters taught 150 years ago. Consciousness research is proving claims about the nature of reality that seemed impossible to 19th century minds. What once required faith now has scientific support. In the next hour, we'll explore 12 life-changing secrets that the Ascended Masters revealed through Helena Blavatsky. Each secret includes the Master's original teaching, proof of its effectiveness, and practical methods for applying it in your daily life. By the end, you'll have a complete system for accelerating your spiritual evolution and connecting directly with Master guidance. Let's begin with the most revolutionary secret of all, the one that can literally reshape your entire reality. Secret 1. Consciousness creates reality. Master Kuthumi materialized a letter to Blavatsky containing one sentence that would challenge everything the Victorian world believed about reality. Thought is the architect of destiny. Mind is the builder. What you consistently think becomes your experience. This wasn't metaphorical poetry. This was a practical instruction for reshaping the physical world through focused consciousness. And when Blavatsky learned to apply it, she could materialize objects, influence events, and transform circumstances in ways that seemed impossible. The masters taught that what we call physical reality is actually consciousness, expressing itself in denser form. Everything you see, touch, and experience began as thought energy before materializing into physical form. The difference between masters and ordinary humans isn't that masters have special powers, it's that they understand and work consciously with this fundamental principle. Your current life circumstances aren't accidents or external impositions. They're the materialized forms of your predominant thought patterns over time. If you want different external experiences, you must first create different internal realities through directed consciousness. This isn't positive thinking or wishful imagination. This is quantum mechanics applied spiritually. When you understand that consciousness is the fundamental substrate of reality, you can learn to work with it deliberately rather than unconsciously. The masters taught 3 levels of conscious creation: mental, creating thought forms; astral, creating energy patterns; and physical, manifesting tangible results. Most humans create unconsciously at all 3 levels. Advanced souls learn to create deliberately. Blavatsky demonstrated this principle repeatedly through witnessed phenomena. She materialized letters, jewelry, and flowers from nothing. She influenced events happening thousands of miles away. She created physical effects through pure intention. Hundreds of witnesses documented these manifestations. But the most compelling proof came from her students, who learned to apply this principle in their own lives. They reported manifesting needed resources, resolving chronic problems, and attracting opportunities by changing their consciousness first, then watching reality reshape itself accordingly. Modern quantum physics has validated the master's teaching that observation affects reality. The double-slit experiment proves consciousness influences physical events. Studies in psychokinesis show that focused intention can affect material systems. What seemed like magic in 1875 is now a scientific fact. Start each day with conscious reality programming. Spend 10 minutes visualizing your day unfolding exactly as you want it to, feeling the emotions of those desired experiences as if they're already happening. The masters taught that emotion is the power source that transforms thought into physical reality. Monitor your thought patterns throughout the day. When you catch yourself thinking limiting or negative thoughts, immediately replace them with thoughts aligned with your desired reality. Remember, every thought is a creative act, whether conscious or unconscious. Practice with small manifestations first. Choose something specific, but not life-altering: a parking space, a phone call from someone, or finding a lost object. Apply focused intention and watch how reality responds to directed consciousness. Secret 2. The Law of Spiritual Evolution. Master Moria revealed to Blavatsky that human souls don't stumble randomly through existence, hoping to eventually find enlightenment. There's a precise cosmic curriculum, with specific lessons, tests, and graduation requirements that every consciousness must complete to achieve master status. Understanding where you are in this evolutionary sequence changes everything about how you approach your spiritual development and life challenges. The masters taught that spiritual evolution follows 7 distinct stages, each with its own lessons, abilities, and responsibilities. Most humans are unconsciously moving through the first 3 stages. Advanced souls are consciously working through stages 4 through 6. Masters have completed all 7 stages and now guide others through the same journey. Stage 1 involves learning basic physical survival and emotional control. Stage 2 focuses on developing mental faculties and ethical behavior. Stage 3 introduces spiritual seeking and initial psychic development. Stage 4 brings conscious spiritual discipline and service to others. Stage 5 involves advanced mystical experiences and teaching responsibilities. Stage 6 encompasses preparation for master consciousness. Stage 7 is the achievement of ascended master status. Knowing your current evolutionary stage reveals what lessons you're meant to be learning, what abilities you're developing, and what forms of service you're being prepared for. It also explains why certain spiritual practices feel natural while others seem impossible. You're working with or against your soul's current developmental level. Most importantly, understanding this law allows you to accelerate your progress by consciously engaging with appropriate lessons rather than unconsciously repeating the same patterns, lifetime after lifetime. The ancient mystery schools organized their initiations around these exact evolutionary stages. Egyptian temples, Greek schools, and Tibetan monasteries all used similar progressive development systems because they understood the universal pattern the masters revealed to Blavatsky. Her own spiritual development followed this precise sequence. She documented her progression through each stage, including the specific experiences, abilities, and responsibilities that emerged at each level. Her letters and writings provide a detailed map of conscious spiritual evolution. Modern developmental psychology has discovered similar stages in human consciousness development. Researchers like Ken Wilber and Suzanne Cook-Greuter have identified progressive levels of awareness that closely parallel the evolutionary stages the masters described. Students who work consciously with this evolutionary map consistently report accelerated spiritual development compared to those who approach spirituality randomly or follow generic practices not suited to their actual developmental level. Honestly assess your current evolutionary stage by examining which spiritual challenges you're facing most intensely. Early-stage souls struggle primarily with physical and emotional issues. Mid-stage souls grapple with mental discipline and service questions. Advanced souls work with mystical experiences and teaching responsibilities. Choose spiritual practices appropriate for your actual level rather than practices you think you should be doing. If you're working through emotional issues, meditation might be less helpful than therapy. If you're already disciplined mentally, you might be ready for advanced energy work. Focus intensively on mastering your current stage rather than trying to skip ahead. The masters taught that trying to access higher stage abilities before completing lower stage lessons creates spiritual instability and delays overall progress. Secret 3. The Power of Sacred Silence. When Master Morya first began training Blavatsky, his initial instruction was surprising. Learn to be silent. In silence, the soul speaks loudest. In noise, it cannot be heard at all. This wasn't about meditation techniques or stress reduction. This was about accessing a specific state of consciousness where direct communication with the masters becomes possible. The masters exist in dimensions where communication happens through direct transmission of consciousness rather than spoken words. To receive their guidance clearly, humans must develop the capacity for what Blavatsky called sacred silence, a quality of inner stillness that allows subtle spiritual impressions to register in conscious awareness. This isn't ordinary quietness or the absence of noise. Sacred silence is an active state of receptive awareness where your consciousness becomes like a perfectly still lake, capable of reflecting the slightest spiritual impression without distortion. In this state, intuition becomes clear, guidance becomes obvious, and direct master communication becomes possible. Most humans live in states of mental and emotional agitation that make subtle spiritual reception impossible. Their consciousness is like a turbulent ocean that cannot reflect anything clearly. Sacred silence calms the internal storms and creates the clarity necessary for advanced spiritual reception. The masters taught that developing this capacity is essential for spiritual advancement beyond the elementary stages. Without it, seekers remain dependent on external teachers and cannot access the inner guidance that ultimately leads to master consciousness. Blavatsky's spiritual breakthroughs consistently occurred during periods of deep silence. Her most important master communications came during solitary retreats where she maintained silence for days or weeks. The clarity and accuracy of guidance she received were directly proportional to the depth of silence she achieved. Historical mystics across all traditions report similar experiences. Desert fathers, Buddhist monks, Hindu sages, and Sufi masters all discovered that profound silence opens doorways to higher consciousness that remain closed during ordinary mental activity. Modern neuroscience has validated the Master's teaching about silence and consciousness. Studies show that periods of deep quiet literally change brain activity patterns, increasing access to intuitive faculties and subtle perception abilities. Regular silence practice enhances creativity, problem-solving, and spiritual sensitivity. Students who develop sacred silence report dramatic increases in intuitive accuracy, spiritual experiences, and guidance clarity. Many describe beginning to receive direct impressions from masters or other advanced beings during deep silence periods. Establish daily periods of complete silence. No talking, reading, music, or mental activity. Start with 15 minutes and gradually increase to at least an hour. During this time, simply sit in receptive awareness without trying to meditate, pray, or accomplish anything. Create physical silence in your environment as much as possible. The Masters taught that external noise makes internal silence much more difficult to achieve. Find or create spaces where you can experience genuine quiet regularly. Practice what Blavatsky called listening within during your silence periods. Instead of trying to empty your mind, maintain gentle attention for subtle impressions, images, or knowings that arise spontaneously. These are often the beginnings of master communication. Secret 4. Karmic patterns can be transcended. Master Kut Humi revealed to Blavatsky perhaps the most liberating truth in all spiritual teaching. Karma is not punishment, it is education. And like all education, once you truly learn the lesson, you can graduate to the next level of experience. This means you don't have to suffer through endless cycles of the same painful patterns. You can consciously complete karmic lessons and move into entirely new levels of life experience. The Masters taught that karma operates like a cosmic educational system. Souls create challenging experiences, not as punishment for past actions, but as opportunities to develop specific spiritual qualities they haven't yet mastered. Once the lesson is truly learned and the quality developed, the pattern dissolves and the soul moves on to new learning experiences. Most humans unconsciously repeat the same karmic patterns lifetime after lifetime because they focus on changing external circumstances rather than developing internal qualities. They try to escape difficult relationships instead of learning unconditional love. They seek financial security without developing spiritual trust. They pursue recognition without cultivating inner worthiness. Advanced souls learn to recognize karmic lessons quickly and engage with them consciously. Instead of resisting challenging experiences, they ask, what quality is this situation trying to develop in me? What am I meant to learn here? Once they genuinely embody the required quality, the external challenge naturally dissolves. The Masters revealed that karma can be accelerated through conscious engagement rather than unconscious endurance. A lesson that might take several lifetimes to learn through unconscious experience can be completed in months or years through conscious spiritual work. Blavatsky's own life demonstrated this principle dramatically. She consciously worked through patterns of persecution, betrayal, and misunderstanding by developing compassion, forgiveness, and spiritual service. Once she mastered these qualities, the external challenges that had plagued her for years simply stopped appearing. Her correspondence with the Masters includes detailed instructions for working consciously with karmic patterns. Students who followed these instructions reported breaking free from chronic problems that had persisted for decades. Relationship conflicts resolved, health issues healed, financial struggles ended. Modern psychology has discovered similar principles in pattern work and trauma healing. When people address the emotional and spiritual roots of recurring problems rather than just managing symptoms, lasting transformation becomes possible. What takes years in therapy can be accomplished more quickly through conscious karmic work. Contemporary students of master teachings consistently report that understanding karma as education rather than punishment transforms their relationship with challenges and dramatically accelerates their resolution of chronic life patterns. Identify your most persistent life patterns, recurring relationship dynamics, chronic health issues, repeated financial challenges, or ongoing emotional struggles. These are your active karmic lessons. For each pattern, ask, what spiritual quality would make this challenge unnecessary? If you're experiencing financial insecurity, the quality might be spiritual trust. If you're having relationship conflicts, it might be unconditional love or healthy boundaries. Focus on developing the required quality through direct spiritual practice rather than trying to fix the external situation. Once you genuinely embody the quality, watch how the external challenge naturally transforms or dissolves without forced effort. Secret 5. The soul has multiple bodies. Master Kuthumi shocked Blavatsky by revealing, humans are not bodies with souls. They are souls with 7 interconnected bodies, each vibrating at different frequencies of consciousness. According to the masters, humans possess 7 distinct bodies or principles: the physical body, the etheric, energy body, the astral, emotional body, the mental body, the causal, soul body, the Buddhic, wisdom body, and the logoic, divine body. Each operates at different vibrational frequencies and serves specific functions in your overall consciousness. Most people are only aware of their physical body and partially conscious of their emotional and mental bodies. But masters have developed conscious awareness and control of all 7 levels simultaneously. This multidimensional awareness is what gives them seemingly miraculous abilities and profound spiritual insight. When you understand that you're actually a complex system of interconnected energy bodies, you can work more effectively with healing, manifestation, relationships, and spiritual development. Physical problems often originate in the emotional body. Relationship issues frequently stem from astral body entanglements. Mental confusion can result from causal body disconnection. By developing conscious awareness of your multiple bodies and learning to work with each one appropriately, you gain access to your full range of human potential. This is how advanced souls perform what seems like magic to those operating only at the physical level. Ancient mystery schools organized their entire training around developing conscious awareness of these 7 principles. Egyptian, Greek, and Hindu traditions all used similar multidimensional models of human consciousness because they understood this fundamental structure. Blavatsky demonstrated abilities that only become possible through multi-body awareness: materialization, manipulating etheric matter, telepathy, mental body communication, astral travel, conscious astral body projection, and prophetic vision, causal body perception of future probabilities. Her detailed documentation of the 7-fold nature of man provided the foundation for modern energy healing modalities. Acupuncture works with the etheric body. Emotional therapy addresses the astral body. Cognitive therapy engages the mental body. Each validates aspects of the multi-dimensional model that the masters taught. Contemporary research in consciousness studies, energy healing, and quantum physics increasingly supports the idea that humans are multi-dimensional beings operating at multiple vibrational frequencies simultaneously. What seemed impossible to 19th-century materialists is becoming an accepted scientific reality. Begin developing awareness of your different bodies through specific practices. Feel your physical body through conscious movement and breath work. Sense your etheric body through energy awareness exercises. Observe your astral body through emotional monitoring. Watch your mental body through thought observation. When facing challenges, ask which body level is most involved. Physical symptoms might require etheric body healing. Emotional upsets need astral body work. Mental confusion calls for mental body clarification. Addressing problems at the correct body level makes resolution much more effective. Practice what Blavatsky called integrated awareness, moments of conscious connection with multiple bodies simultaneously. This develops the multidimensional consciousness that masters possess naturally. Secret 6. Time is an illusion of consciousness. Master Morya revealed to Blavatsky one of the most mind-bending secrets of existence. Past, present, and future exist simultaneously in higher dimensions of consciousness. Linear time is a limitation of physical awareness, not a fundamental reality. This knowledge allows masters to access future probabilities, communicate across centuries, and work outside the constraints that bind ordinary human experience. The masters taught that time, like space, is a dimensional property that changes based on your level of consciousness. At the physical level, consciousness experiences a linear sequence, one moment following another in apparent order. At higher levels, consciousness perceives all moments existing simultaneously in an eternal now. This isn't abstract philosophy, it's practical metaphysics. When you learn to shift your consciousness to higher dimensional awareness, you can access information from any point in what appears to be past or future time. This is how prophecy works, how past life memories surface, and how masters can coordinate activities across centuries. Understanding time's illusory nature also transforms your relationship with life challenges. Problems that seem overwhelming from a linear perspective become manageable when viewed from an eternal perspective. Delays become perfect timing. Failures become necessary learning experiences. Death becomes a transition rather than an ending. Most importantly, recognizing time as a dimensional property of consciousness allows you to work more effectively with manifestation, healing, and spiritual development. Instead of believing change requires long periods of linear time, you can access states of consciousness where transformation happens instantaneously. Blavatsky regularly received information about future events that proved accurate years later. Her prophecies about technological developments, social changes, and spiritual movements came true with remarkable precision. This was possible because she learned to access consciousness levels where future probabilities were clearly visible. The master's letters often contained knowledge about events that hadn't yet occurred in linear time, but were already established in higher dimensional reality. They could coordinate activities across decades because they operated from timeless awareness. Modern physics validates the master's teaching about time's relative nature. Einstein's theory proves that time perception changes based on the reference frame. Quantum mechanics demonstrates that future events can influence past events. What seemed like mystical fantasy is now a scientific fact. Contemporary research on consciousness and time shows that people in altered states can access information from any temporal period. Near-death experiences report timeless awareness where entire lifetimes are perceived simultaneously. Advanced meditators develop a similar timeless perspective. Practice shifting from a linear to an eternal perspective during daily challenges. Instead of thinking, this problem will take months to resolve, access the consciousness level where the solution already exists and work from that awareness. Experiment with accessing guidance from your future self, the version of you who has already solved current challenges and achieved desired goals. This isn't imagination. It's connecting with aspects of your consciousness existing in different temporal dimensions. Develop what Blavatsky called eternal now awareness through meditation practices that dissolve the sense of past and future, revealing the timeless presence that underlies all temporal experience. Secret 7. Thought forms have independent existence. Master Kuthumi revealed to Blavatsky a truth that would revolutionize her understanding of mental responsibility. Every thought you think creates an actual entity that continues to exist in the mental realm, influencing reality according to the energy you gave it. This means your thoughts aren't private experiences. They're creative acts that produce independent beings capable of affecting yourself and others. The masters taught that thoughts are not mere brain activity, but actual energy forms that take on semi-independent existence in what they called the mental plane. When you think with strong emotion and clear imagery, you literally create thought forms, entities composed of mental matter that can persist for hours, days, or even years, depending on the energy invested in them. These thought forms operate according to the intention and emotion that created them. Loving thoughts create beneficial entities that attract positive experiences. Fearful thoughts create negative entities that magnetize problems. Angry thoughts create destructive entities that seek targets for their aggression. Most humans create thought forms unconsciously and then wonder why their lives seem influenced by forces beyond their control. Advanced souls learn to create thought forms deliberately, using them as servants to accomplish specific purposes: healing entities to restore health, protective entities to maintain safety, manifestation entities to attract desired experiences. Understanding thought form creation also explains many psychic phenomena. Ghosts are often persistent thought forms rather than actual spirits. Collective beliefs create group thought forms that influence entire cultures. Prayers work by creating beneficial thought forms that carry intentions to their targets. Blavatsky could create visible thought forms that appeared as actual objects or beings to witnesses. She demonstrated this repeatedly, materializing flowers, letters, and even human figures that existed temporarily in physical reality before dissolving back into mental substance. Her documentation of thought form mechanics provided the foundation for the modern understanding of how consciousness affects reality. She explained how individual and collective thoughts create the mental atmosphere that influences personal and social experiences. Tibetan Buddhist teachings extensively describe tulku and tulpa creation, the deliberate formation of thought forms so vivid they appear physically real. Advanced practitioners can create thought form beings that interact with others and perform specific functions. Contemporary research in consciousness studies has validated the external effects of focused thought. Studies show that group meditation can reduce crime rates, that focused intention affects random number generators, and that coherent mental activity produces measurable effects in physical systems. Become conscious of your thought form creation by monitoring the quality and intensity of your mental activity. Notice which thoughts carry strong emotional energy. These are most likely to create persistent entities. Practice deliberate thought form creation for beneficial purposes. Visualize healing energy as an angelic being. Imagine protection as a guardian presence, or conceive abundance as a helpful servant. Feed these positive entities with regular attention and gratitude. Clear negative thought forms through conscious dissolution practices. When you catch yourself creating fearful or angry thought forms, immediately visualize them dissolving in light or fire, then replace them with positive alternatives. Secret 8. Divine will flows through willing souls. Master Morya taught Blavatsky the secret of true spiritual power. Personal will, no matter how strong, accomplishes little compared to souls who learn to align with divine will. When humans surrender to cosmic will, miracles become natural. This surrender isn't weakness, it's the source of power that allows masters to accomplish seemingly impossible things. The masters revealed that there are two types of will operating in the universe: personal will, ego-driven desire for specific outcomes, and divine will, cosmic intelligence flowing toward universal harmony. Most humans rely entirely on personal will, which is limited by individual perspective and often conflicts with larger cosmic purposes. Masters have learned to distinguish between these two types of will and consistently choose alignment with divine will over personal preference. This doesn't mean becoming passive or abandoning goals. It means discerning when your desires align with cosmic purpose and when they're arising from an ego-limited perspective. When you truly align with divine will, you gain access to cosmic forces that can accomplish far more than individual effort. Problems are resolved through unexpected assistance. Resources appear from unanticipated sources. Obstacles dissolve without struggle. What seemed impossible becomes inevitable. The key is learning to recognize divine will's guidance and trusting it, even when it differs from your personal preferences. Divine will always move toward the highest good for all involved, while personal will often seeks benefit at others' expense. Blavatsky's life demonstrated this principle repeatedly. Her greatest accomplishments came when she surrendered her personal desires and allowed divine will to work through her. The founding of the Theosophical Society, the writing of the Secret Doctrine, and her successful spiritual mission all resulted from aligning with cosmic purpose rather than pursuing personal goals. Her correspondence with the Masters shows the ongoing process of learning this surrender. Early letters reveal her struggling with personal will. Later letters show increasing harmony with divine will and correspondingly greater spiritual effectiveness. Historical spiritual leaders consistently demonstrate this pattern. Those who accomplish the most lasting good are those who learn to serve cosmic purpose rather than personal ambition. Their biographies reveal moments of surrender that preceded their greatest contributions. Contemporary spiritual teachers who embody this principle report that their most effective work flows effortlessly when they align with divine will, while their struggles occur when they pursue ego-driven goals that conflict with cosmic purpose. Develop the ability to distinguish between personal will and divine will through regular inner listening. Before making decisions, ask, is this arising from ego desire or cosmic purpose? Divine will usually feel expansive, peaceful, and oriented toward service. Personal will often feel contracted, anxious, and self-focused. Practice what Blavatsky called willing surrender, consciously offering your personal agenda to divine guidance and remaining open to cosmic correction of your plans. This builds trust in the divine will's wisdom and creates channels for higher forces to work through you. When facing obstacles or setbacks, examine whether you're pushing against divine will through excessive personal effort. Sometimes what seems like failure is cosmic redirection toward better outcomes than your ego could envision. Secret 9. Love is the fundamental force of evolution. Master Kuthumi revealed to Blavatsky that love isn't just a human emotion, it's the cosmic force that drives all spiritual evolution. Love is the law of life, the engine of evolution, and the power that ultimately transforms individual consciousness into universal consciousness. Understanding how to work consciously with love as cosmic energy rather than personal feeling changes everything about your spiritual development. The Masters taught that love operates at multiple levels simultaneously. Personal love, attachment to specific individuals, represents love's most limited expression. Universal love, compassionate concern for all beings, shows love's broader application. Divine love, the attractive force that unifies all consciousness, reveals love's ultimate nature. Most humans experience only personal love, which creates joy when satisfied and suffering when frustrated. Advanced souls develop universal love, which provides stable compassion regardless of external circumstances. Masters embody divine love, which sees all experiences as opportunities for consciousness to know itself more completely. This isn't sentimental philosophy, it's practical metaphysics. Love at each level generates specific types of energy that produce corresponding results in your experience. Personal love creates intimate connections, but also possessiveness and jealousy. Universal love generates healing and service opportunities. Divine love makes you a channel for cosmic forces that can transform any situation. The key insight the Masters shared is that love isn't something you feel, it's something you become. When your consciousness embodies love rather than just experiencing it, you gain access to love's creative and transformative powers. Blavatsky's spiritual development followed this exact progression. Her early life was dominated by personal loves and hates that created considerable suffering. Her middle years involved developing universal compassion through service to humanity. Her final years demonstrated divine love that could transform even hostile critics into respectful students. The Masters themselves exemplify divine love in action. Their communications show consistent compassion for human limitations, combined with unwavering commitment to human evolution. They work across centuries to help humanity develop the same love consciousness they embody. Scientific research has validated love's transformative effects. Studies show that love-based emotions enhance immune function, improve mental clarity, and increase longevity. Group meditations focused on love reduce violence and conflict in surrounding areas. Love literally changes both individual and collective reality. Contemporary spiritual teachers who emphasize love as practice rather than feeling consistently report the most profound transformations in their students. When love becomes a way of being, rather than an emotional state, it generates results that seem miraculous to those operating from fear-based consciousness. Practice expanding your love beyond personal preferences through deliberate exercises. Begin each day by sending love to people you naturally care about, then gradually extend it to neutral people, difficult people, and eventually all beings everywhere. Use love as a transformative tool in challenging situations. Instead of reacting with fear, anger, or resistance, consciously choose to respond with love energy. This doesn't mean being passive. It means taking whatever action is needed from a foundation of compassion rather than reactivity. Develop what Blavatsky called impersonal love, caring deeply about others' welfare without attachment to specific outcomes. This creates space for divine love to work through you in ways that serve everyone's highest good. Secret 10. Death is a doorway, not an ending. Master Kuthumi shared with Blavatsky perhaps the most comforting truth in all spiritual teaching. What you call death is simply changing clothes. The real you, consciousness itself, is eternal and continues its journey on higher planes of existence. Understanding death's true nature transforms how you live, eliminates fear, and reveals life's actual purpose. The Masters taught that physical death is merely one transition in consciousness's eternal journey through different dimensions of experience. When the physical body can no longer sustain consciousness, awareness withdraws to subtler bodies and continues existing on higher planes. This isn't wishful thinking about survival after death. It's an accurate description of consciousness's multidimensional nature. Just as you can shift awareness from dreaming to waking states while remaining the same essential self, consciousness shifts between physical and non-physical states while maintaining continuity of identity. Understanding this eliminates death fear that limits so many human experiences. When you know that consciousness is immortal, you can take the risks necessary for growth, accept life's temporary nature without desperation, and approach challenges with courage rather than anxiety. Most importantly, knowing death's true nature reveals life's actual purpose, not to accumulate possessions or avoid pain, but to develop consciousness through varied experiences across multiple lifetimes and dimensional levels. This perspective transforms every life situation into an opportunity for eternal growth. Blavatsky received hundreds of communications from masters who had died physically but continued teaching from higher planes. These letters contained specific information that proved conscious survival beyond physical death. Master Kuthumi described his death experience in detail and continued providing guidance for decades afterward. Her documentation of the death process, based on master teachings, accurately described experiences that wouldn't be researched scientifically until the late 20th century. Near-death experience research has validated many details the masters provided about consciousness during the death transition. Contemporary research in consciousness survival provides compelling evidence for awareness continuing beyond physical death. Studies of near-death experiences, reincarnation cases, and after-death communications suggest that consciousness does indeed survive bodily death and retain memory and personality. Students who truly understand this teaching report dramatic reductions in death anxiety and corresponding increases in life enthusiasm. When you know death is a transition rather than termination, you can live more fully and take greater risks for growth and service. Examine areas where death fear might be limiting your life choices. Are you avoiding risks that could accelerate your growth? Clinging to security instead of following your calling? Postponing important conversations or experiences? Practice what Blavatsky called conscious dying, regular meditation on releasing attachment to the physical body while maintaining awareness. This prepares you for the death transition and reduces fear-based living in the present. Use death certainty as motivation for spiritual development. Since you know you'll eventually leave the physical plane, focus on developing consciousness qualities that survive bodily death rather than accumulating possessions that cannot. Sarat 11. Humanity is approaching a great initiation. Master Morya revealed to Blavatsky a prophecy that would define our current era. Humanity stands at the threshold of its greatest spiritual test. This is the hour of the race's choosing, evolution or extinction, wisdom or destruction. We are living through the exact period the Masters predicted, and your individual development is crucial to humanity's collective success. The Masters taught that human evolution proceeds through collective initiations, periods when entire civilizations face tests that determine their spiritual advancement or regression. These tests involve choosing between higher and lower impulses at both the individual and group levels. According to their prophecies, humanity entered such an initiation period in the late 20th century and will complete it in the early 21st century. The test involves whether humans can develop wisdom fast enough to handle the power of their technological development. Will we use our abilities to create harmony or destruction? This initiation is playing out through every major challenge facing humanity: environmental crisis, learning to live in harmony with natural systems; social inequality, developing universal compassion; technological power, gaining wisdom to match our capabilities; and spiritual confusion, remembering our divine nature. The outcome depends on individual humans awakening to their spiritual nature quickly enough to influence collective choices. This is why advanced souls are incarnating in unprecedented numbers during this period. Their individual awakenings strengthen the morphic field of human consciousness. Blavatsky's prophecies about this period have proven remarkably accurate. She predicted that the late 20th century would bring both unprecedented spiritual awakening and potential for global destruction. She foresaw technological developments that could either unite humanity or destroy it. The Master's letters described social upheavals, environmental challenges, and spiritual movements that are manifesting exactly as they predicted. Their warnings about the dangers of materialistic thinking and their encouragement of spiritual development directly address current global conditions. Contemporary events clearly reflect the initiation process the Masters described. Climate change tests our ability to think beyond immediate self-interest. Social media tests our capacity for truth and compassion. Artificial intelligence tests our wisdom in wielding godlike powers. Students who understand this collective initiation context report feeling much more motivated to pursue serious spiritual development, knowing that their individual growth contributes to humanity's successful passage through this critical period. Recognize your role in humanity's initiation by taking your spiritual development seriously. This isn't personal luxury, it's service to the collective awakening that determines our species' future. Apply spiritual principles to global challenges rather than just personal problems. Use meditation to send healing energy to environmental crises. Practice compassion toward people with different political views. Choose wisdom over convenience in daily decisions. Connect with others who understand this critical time and work together to strengthen the field of awakened consciousness. The Masters taught that group work is more powerful than individual effort during collective initiations. Secret 12. You are destined to become a master. Master Kuthumi shared the ultimate secret with Blavatsky, the one that transforms everything about how you view your spiritual journey. Every human soul, without exception, is destined to achieve master consciousness. What we are, you shall become. It is not a question of if, but when. This isn't spiritual fantasy, it's your evolutionary destiny. The Masters revealed that achieving master consciousness isn't reserved for special souls or rare individuals. It's the inevitable destination of every consciousness that completes its evolutionary journey through physical existence. Just as children naturally become adults, human souls naturally become masters. The process involves 7 stages of development we explored earlier, culminating in complete mastery of consciousness across all dimensional levels. Masters have learned to function simultaneously in physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual dimensions while maintaining perfect balance and wisdom. This destiny applies to you personally. Your current lifetime is one step in a journey that will ultimately lead to your own master status. The challenges you're facing, the abilities you're developing, and the service you're providing are all preparing you for this eventual achievement. Understanding this destiny changes everything about your approach to spiritual development. Instead of hoping to become slightly better or more peaceful, you can work consciously toward the complete transformation that awaits you. Instead of feeling limited by current circumstances, you can draw motivation from knowing where your evolution is ultimately leading. The masters consistently referred to their students as future colleagues, rather than permanent followers. Their letters emphasize that they are simply humans who have completed the journey that all humans are traveling. They achieved master status through the same process available to everyone. Blavatsky's own development demonstrated this progression. She began as a spiritually sensitive but untrained individual and gradually developed the abilities and wisdom that characterize master consciousness. Her transformation shows the pathway from human to master awareness. Historical examples abound of humans who achieved extraordinary spiritual development. Buddha, Jesus, Krishna, Lao Tzu, and many others represent completed examples of the journey every soul is taking. They demonstrate that master consciousness is achievable through human incarnation. Contemporary spiritual teachers often report receiving guidance that they are being prepared for advanced teaching roles in future lifetimes. Many describe sensing their own potential for master consciousness in future incarnations. Begin thinking of your spiritual development as master preparation rather than personal improvement. Ask, what qualities would a master need, and how can I develop them? This shifts your focus from immediate comfort to ultimate capability. Study the lives and teachings of recognized masters to understand the consciousness you're developing toward. Their examples provide roadmaps for the journey from human to master awareness. Start serving others' spiritual development as part of your own master training. Masters are defined by their service to consciousness evolution, so practicing this service prepares you for eventual master responsibilities. Integration and mastery. These 12 secrets from the Ascended Masters form a complete system for spiritual transformation. Consciousness creates reality, gives you power over your experiences. Spiritual evolution provides direction for your development. Sacred silence opens communication with higher guidance. Karmic transcendence frees you from limiting patterns. Multiple bodies expand your capabilities. Time transcendence reveals eternal perspective. Thought form mastery makes you responsible for your mental creations. Divine will alignment connects you with cosmic power. Love embodiment transforms you into a healing presence. Death understanding eliminates fear. Collective initiation gives your development universal significance. Master destiny provides ultimate motivation. But understanding these secrets intellectually accomplishes nothing. They must be applied consistently to produce the transformation they promise. The masters didn't share this knowledge for entertainment. They provided it as practical instruction for souls ready to accelerate their evolution. Your recognition of these secrets and attraction to this teaching indicate that your soul is ready for conscious advancement. You wouldn't be drawn to master wisdom unless your consciousness had already developed enough to apply it effectively. Daily Practice Foundation. Begin each day with conscious reality programming using Secret 1. Set clear intentions for your day while feeling the emotions of desired outcomes. This establishes your creative power over experience. Maintain sacred silence periods using Secret 3. Even 15 minutes of complete inner quiet allows higher guidance to register in your awareness. This opens communication with the master consciousness. End each day with karmic pattern work using Secret 4. Review challenging experiences and ask, what quality is this developing in me? This accelerates lesson completion and pattern transcendence. Weekly development focus. Choose one secret per week for intensive study and application. Week 1. Consciousness creates reality. Week 2. Spiritual evolution stages. Week 3. Sacred silence development. Continue through all 12 secrets, then repeat the cycle with deeper understanding. Practice multi-body awareness using Secret 5. Spend time consciously connecting with your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual aspects. This develops an integrated consciousness that masters possess naturally. Work with thought form creation using Secret 7. Deliberately create beneficial mental entities for healing, protection, and manifestation. This trains you in conscious mental responsibility. Monthly integration work. Apply eternal perspective using Secret 6 to major life decisions. Ask your future master self for guidance about current choices. This connects you with your ultimate destiny and provides wisdom beyond current limitations. Practice divine will alignment using Secret 8 in service activities. Choose ways to help others that feel aligned with cosmic purpose rather than ego desire. This develops master consciousness through service. Embody love as a cosmic force using Secret 9 in challenging relationships. Choose compassion over reactivity, understanding over judgment, service over self-interest. This transforms you into a channel for divine love. Ongoing master. Preparation. Study the lives and teachings of recognized masters to understand the consciousness qualities you're developing toward. Their examples provide detailed roadmaps for the human-to-master journey. Connect with others who are working consciously with master teachings. Group work amplifies individual development and creates a supportive community for advanced spiritual practice. Apply these secrets to current global challenges using Secret 11. Your individual transformation contributes to humanity's collective initiation success. These 12 secrets represent foundation-level master teachings. Advanced instruction includes detailed work with specific psychic abilities, direct communication techniques with individual masters, participation in inner plane service activities, and preparation for conscious ascension processes. The masters continue to provide guidance to sincere students who demonstrate consistent application of these fundamental principles. As your development progresses, more advanced secrets become accessible through direct inner teaching. Your journey toward master consciousness has begun with understanding these secrets. Where it leads depends entirely on your dedication to applying them in daily life. Conclusion. Take a moment to truly grasp what you've learned today. You now possess knowledge that the ascended masters spent lifetimes developing and centuries trying to share with humanity. These aren't philosophical concepts or religious beliefs. They're practical instructions for conscious evolution from beings who have successfully completed the journey you're traveling. You are not an ordinary person learning interesting spiritual ideas. You are an evolving consciousness receiving advanced training for your eventual role as a master yourself. Every challenge you face, every ability you develop, every moment of service you provide is preparing you for responsibilities you'll assume as you complete your own evolution. The masters didn't choose Blavatsky randomly, and these teachings didn't find you accidentally. Your soul called this knowledge to you because you're ready for conscious acceleration of your spiritual development. You have work to do in this lifetime that requires master-level understanding and capabilities. Look at your life from this expanded perspective. The difficulties that seemed overwhelming are actually training exercises designed by your own soul to develop specific master qualities. The abilities that feel natural to you are remembrances of faculties you've developed in previous incarnations. The desire to serve others is your master consciousness beginning to emerge. The core truth that transforms everything is this: you are not a human being having spiritual experiences. You are an immortal consciousness having a temporary human experience as part of your journey toward master awareness. Every lifetime brings you closer to this destiny. This lifetime can bring you dramatically closer if you apply what you've learned today. These 12 secrets aren't information to be collected, they're power tools to be used. Your understanding of them means nothing unless it translates into practical application that transforms your experience and accelerates your evolution. The world desperately needs humans who embody master consciousness. Environmental crises, social conflicts, and spiritual confusion can only be resolved by people who think like masters, love like masters, and serve like masters. Your development isn't personal luxury. It's an urgent necessity for humanity's survival and evolution. The masters are waiting for you to join them, not in some distant future or after physical death, but as a conscious co-worker in this lifetime. Every time you apply these secrets, you strengthen your connection with master consciousness. Every moment you choose evolution over comfort, service over self-interest, love over fear, you move closer to the conscious partnership with evolved beings that awaits you. As you consistently apply these 12 secrets, you will experience a transformation that seems miraculous from your current perspective. Problems that have persisted for years will resolve through understanding karmic lessons. Abilities you've dreamed of will emerge through multidimensional awareness. Guidance you've sought will become clear through sacred silence. Resources you've needed will manifest through conscious reality creation. Most importantly, you will begin to sense a direct connection with the masters themselves. They work with every sincere student who demonstrates readiness through consistent application of their teachings. Your development toward master consciousness is supported by beings who have already completed this journey. The ascended masters have spoken. Through Blavatsky, they shared the secrets that can revolutionize your existence and accelerate your evolution by lifetimes. Now the choice is yours. Will you merely understand these teachings intellectually, or will you apply them practically and claim your destiny as a conscious co-worker with the masters who guide human evolution? Your soul already knows the answer. These words found you because your master consciousness is ready to emerge. The question isn't whether you're capable of this transformation. The question is whether you'll choose the dedication required to achieve it. The masters are waiting. Your future master self is waiting. Humanity's evolution is waiting. The time for preparation is ending. The time for conscious advancement has begun. What will you choose?